Hey guys, I wanted to apologize for this video being up a little late. My real dad, my biological dad, is in the hospital, and unfortunately his age and other health issues, I had to have that difficult conversation with the doctor, and yeah, it's just been a little bit of a difficult weekend, but here's your video and we'll be back on schedule next week. Thanks for being so understanding. Have an awesome rest of your weekend. Hey guys, welcome back to Creativity and Inspiration. I'm Lisa. If you're new, welcome. I'm happy you found us. If you keep coming back, thank you. You know how special you are. Today, I have a great video for you. We are talking Everything Traveler's Notebook. What is it? How you can create one very easily, and a few extras with that. So let's just jump in. But before we do, remember I showed you this bright red, beautiful fluorescent paint and talked about doing an underpainting or underpaintings with it? That's the whole purpose of getting it. And I got that big pad of paper. This is that pad. It's a 16 by 20. It's watercolor paper, which I've said this before, but acrylics are considered a water paint because they're water-based. And this is the red underpainting. I said it's so pretty, I almost hate to cover it up. But for those of you that don't know, red or an underpainting, a rust, a tan, a bright fluorescent red, those will help you get true tone, vibrant colors, where if you use white, you don't really get a true tone to your paints. Just a fun little fact there. So anyway, this is what an underpainting looks like, and when I paint over it, I'll show you. But the goal is to not have any of the underpainting showing, or just a little bit here and there to add that little spicy pop. What is that? But it's our secret. Though it's not secret. Anyway, thought I'd share. Now, let's pop over and talk about Traveler's Notebooks. Okay, guys, I realized the top of my table was kind of like splotchy red, so it doesn't distract. I put this piece of white paper over it. Now, this is our Traveler's Notebook. I ordered this little journal off of Etsy years ago. I track my book releases, my book promos, sales, all that in there. And a Traveler's Notebook is basically a small notebook that is anywhere from 3 3/4 to 4 3/3, a third, to 8.5 inches. And this one's just a little smaller than 4.33 inches. But I like it. It's a great size. And what you can do with Traveler's Notebooks is you can put a bunch of these, all the same size, inside a large cover, and you could have 2 or 3 of these in one location. And what people do with these is they make planners, they make journals. You can make them whatever you want. You can find inserts like this that are like a journal. You can find inserts that are just plain blank paper, inserts that are calendars, inserts that are dots, inserts that are just lined paper. So what if you want to make your own? You don't want to spend the money because, you know, we always talk about money is like not buying as much right now. I just got groceries. I got 2 bags of groceries for $200. That's nuts. And that was from Walmart. So, you know. So how can you get this size? Well, there's 2 ways. You can take paper and just fold up a bunch of plain notebook paper, printer paper, whatever you have. Fold it, sew it in half. Sew it in the center like this one is. This one is just sewn in. Well, you can't see it there. This one is just sewn in. You can see it there. And you can do it that way. Just make it like a regular journal. And again, you can do 2 or 3 of these. Or what I think is a cool way to do it is to take a composition notebook and tape off the size you want. I want it to be about right here. I would do the 4 1/4 out. So I would do the 4, a little over 4, which is right here in the middle. And I would cut this basically in half. One side would be a little bigger. And I would cut this basically in half. This side would be bound, this side wouldn't, but I could bind it. And then I could get 2 traveler's notebooks from one composition notebook. So how would I go about cutting it? Well, I'm gonna show you. Let me go get a couple of things, and we're gonna make 2 traveler's notebook from this one pen and gear composition notebook. Okay, I went and got some painter's tape, and I got a razor blade because my craft knife is very dull, and I wanted something that I know will cut through this. So what I'm gonna do is put down my painter's tape right down the center. Okay, now all I'm gonna do is run my razor blade down this side. Let me make sure it's straight. Straight enough. And all you do is start at the top and just cut through. I'm gonna do it this way so I can make sure I'm staying against the tape. Okay guys, so now once you get it cut in half, and mine's a little janky, but you can even clean yours up once you've done it. You have one that is about 3 3/4, just like the one I showed you. Now this one is a little taller. I'm fine with it being taller. You can always cut it across that way if you want to. But now I have a traveler's notebook. What I could do inside to make it more not so bulky is I could tear sheets out every so often. I could add sheets in. If I wanted to add in inserts, I could add in inserts by just attaching them to the page. However you see your traveler's notebook. Now, if I wanted to put this in a cover, what I could do is get a piece of paper, scrapbook paper, whatever type of paper you have. And what I've done is I've folded it because I'm going to make it where the pages, the covers slide into it. So let me trim this up a little bit more. I'm just going to trim, see how it's kind of janky like that? I'm going to kind of even it out. There we go. And then I folded this, but I can refold the pages for the cover. Nope, see, that worked perfect. I can trim off the top because as you can see, it's a little long. But then I have an outer cover that is cute. Then I could take this out and reuse the cover on a new one. Now, how would I do that? This is just a piece of paper, right? It's gonna wear. I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna cover this with clear packing tape. That way I'll be able to take this in and out of the cover as much as I want to without tearing the cover. But first, let me cut this down because I don't want it to be that much too long. I'm gonna leave a little bit of overhang, but not a lot. this goes in there like that. This will go in there. And that'll be the cover. Now, if this wasn't so thick and I made it thinner like this one, I could add multiples in this cover. But since that one is so thick, but see, this one is a lot thinner. And you could add more in there, plus this one's shorter too. But you could add a lot more in there because there's a lot more room. So traveler's notebooks are fine because you can use them so versatile because they're basically just blank notebooks. That's all they are. Blank notebooks that you can do with what you want. The thinner size makes them easier to carry, throw in backpacks, purses, whatever. Now let's finish the cover real quick. Okay, I just got clear packing tape. I'm going to take out the, take that out. And I'm just going to lay this out. And I'll lay it out like that. Then I'm going to measure. Get that out of the way because I want to make sure you can see. And I'm going to lay it down as close to the edge as I can. And it's not going to be perfect, and that's fine. There we go. And you can see that's pretty good. Now, I'm going to do that all the way across. Same way, just kind of measure it out. Okay, there is our cover. Got a little wrinkle, but nothing major. Very happy with how it came out. Just creasing the sides. Now I'm going to put... Now, if you want to make it where these aren't like flopping open, what you can do is tape them down at this top. I'll show you. I'm just taking a very small piece of tape and I'm going to fold it over so the end stays down, and then I'll trim off this extra piece. And you can use this method of covering the cover in tape for regular journals, for planners, whatever. It's just an inexpensive way to make a piece of paper last longer. And this tape I got from Lowe's because I run a vintage resale business, so I got the tape from Lowe's. And I pack a lot of orders, and I buy this tape fairly often. It's not an expensive tape, and it works great. And it's clear. And again, you just fold it over, and then I didn't do the bottom. You could do the top and the bottom if you want. Then you just put your traveler notebook cover inside of here. And there you go. You have a nice cover. It's protected. When you fill up the inside of this, you can take it out and put in a new one. And again, this will work for many different size journals. It doesn't just have to be the traveler's notebook. And this little trick. So guys, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please be sure and give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget, if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button with that little bell because we have a lot of awesome videos coming your way and you don't want to miss out. I'll see you next week. Have an amazing holiday weekend. Bye-bye.